All right, you got to listen in on this one. We're going to make sure your business is a success. Tune in, share it with those you know have an idea. Never get it off the ground, but now they will. Listen to this program today. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. This show today is going to focus on how to guarantee, how to make sure that your business idea is a success, or even a product, something that you have thought about and have envisioned in your mind would really make a wonderful product. How to make sure that that becomes a success. Take your dream from being a dream and make it into a reality. And that's what we'll be doing today. Let's go look at an article. Another time, Forbes is really hitting it hard for us today. It's bringing in some really great articles. I really highly recommend you add to your daily schedule some reading online on your phones. Forbes is just a fantastic source of some great information you see that we're doing today. So let's go on over there. And we're here at the article entitled How to Turn Your Business Idea into Reality, contributed by Caroline Castrillon. She writes about careers, entrepreneurship, and women's advancement. Great contribution there, Caroline. And here we are. Have you ever had a killer idea for a product or service and then thought, now what? Well, and this brings me back to my early years. Man, did I have some ideas. I had really some great ideas. I said, my goodness. And I'm talking about my teenage years. I was the one to think about how different types of businesses and whatnot, but I had the idea to create. Maybe you had a great business concept, but you don't know where to start. Bringing an idea to life isn't easy. It requires what? Passion. Say it again. Passion. It requires what? Passion. Patience, and most importantly, the ability to execute. Now, these are three qualities, three traits that you really need to focus on in yourself. There's a little bit of some self improvement here that you need to do before embarking on starting a business and thinking about doing this for as an option for you in your life and career. So think about it, but do it smartly. Remember to follow my videos. In all the videos I do, I give you some good advice here and there, and sometimes in videos that you wouldn't even think of, like my church videos on Sunday. Hey, even the Sabbath videos sometimes on Saturdays, you can get a wonderful idea from any one of them because when I see it, I say it. So basically, be ready to capture and glean in on some great ideas and solutions for your life and your business life as well. So these are important things that you need to, as we discussed today earlier, even in the family business video, we talked about passion. It's very important. The things that make a business win and grow and be successful. And of course, the patience when things don't go your way, um, things don't fall into place right away or the way you expected them or needed them to be. You just have to be patient, and sometimes you have to like recreate things. You have to start over again. Be patient. Don't give up. Don't just lose your patience and just get all frustrated with things and with people. Some of us, we're too sensitive with people. We engage people too closely, and we let them impact us too greatly. You have to be careful. Just stand back, be patient, and above all, be able to get things going. Just you get the idea, you have to pivot and get a new idea or a new way of implementing or marketing, and just do it. Just get it out there and do it. And I can tell you, there's a lot of times I had to fight against a lot of things. Right now, I'm just fighting against damage done to me in an accident. Things happen in life. You just gotta fight. You just have to fight. I'm telling you, you really every day is not guaranteed to us, and 100% health isn't granted to all of us. You really need to go. You get your blows, you get hit in the face, and you have to pick yourself up and keep going. And so you really need to have that drive and to continue forward. So, what is the ways to make sure, again, to make sure that our business idea becomes a reality? The first thing is it's more like a test more than anything else. And what do we mean by this? This is to make sure that what you're thinking actually can become a business. One of the main things that a business has to have in order for it to be successful is that it needs to solve a problem. Your business product or your services, the idea that you have, it has to solve a problem. And the more the efficiency of its solution to a problem, and of course, the more people that are affected or have this problem, it identifies the market and identifies the range of success. It can also determine really the pricing of your product. You don't have to have millions of people buy your product for you to have a successful business. In fact, if your product is like a jet plane, you only need like a handful of people to buy it, and you're doing good. Your business is a success. You can even be an airplane salesman, only needs to make a sale or two every year, and they're good. So you again, it depends on the identifier of your marketplace. That really depends on the pricing that makes or breaks a business. But in all cases, you need to solve a problem. So that's the first thing. So some of you, again, you may not have, you may want to do a business, but you really haven't develop some problem solution. Don't now start racking your brains. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Simply go to the URL of my videos. In this video, you have the business broker URL. You don't need to be a genius for that, but you need to be coachable and trainable. So if you have learning capacity and you have the passion to make something happen, and you love business, you like marketing and aspects of business, say I pretty much have some knowledge here and there, different types of things, and business related topics and stuff like that, then the business broker business is for you. So take a look at that, but also follow and keep watching my videos, because I do videos on different things. Mostly they focus on one or more businesses that we have available for you to consider, and you don't have to worry about trying to think of a product. We've already identified good products and good services that solve problems, and hey, the rest is making the money. But I'm going to also show you how being part of our network really helps you become more successful than most. So you need to be able to solve a problem. Here she talks about a friend of hers, where or someone that what is this person? Someone that she's referring to here, that she didn't have the right undergarment to provide a smooth look to her pant. So this is a woman thing, right? They want to throw on a pair of pants. They're going to a dinner party or something. And look, what do they see? They see in the mirror those lines underneath the pant. It really doesn't look good, and she thought of, how do I do this? How do I have some covering underneath to feel comfortable, and at the same time have it be invisible? And she cut up her pantyhose, the control top of the pantyhose, and she had the best of both worlds. she created a business from that idea. Again, necessity is the mother of invention. She created something new and she started to form an idea from that, and that became a business, a successful one at that. Another guy on YouTube, you may find him on YouTube. The guy he creates things. He's an inventor. So he created something for curtains to hold the curtains, to the side of the window to let the window be open and whatnot. It was an easy thing to just put on this curtain thing. Who would even think about that, right? But yeah, he's thinking about that. And so what he did was he had a 3D printer, and he started printing like this a spiral. I think many of you may have seen it. And all he does is put that spiral in like a paper clip, and the curtain fills in the spiral center, and the spiral holds everything together like that. Very, very quick, very novel. And then this guy started to put it up on, I think it was eBay, where he started to put it up, and people started buying. People started buying that left and right. At a time, he couldn't fill all the orders that were coming in. So he found something. He had to do a lot of experimentation, trying to find different ways to do it. He finally settled on bamboo and having it made elsewhere, outside the country, have it shipped in and whatnot. But he sold a lot of those units. So again, it basically is having a problem, seeing a problem. Most of these entrepreneurs, they solve their own problems and they say, you know what? This will be a product to sell. One of the things that I do personally is that I create software on for my computer right here in front. I have some software here lying around here and there that I slowly am developing, and now slower than ever before because of those issues I told you about before. But what I do is that I simply solve an immediate problem. As things are so complex here, I got broadcasting to do, windows to show, blah, blah, blah. And so this causes me to find and streamline processes. And by creating software, I can streamline these processes. But what happens also is that as I'm developing this software to make my life easier, I'm actually creating a product or two. As a matter of fact, in my case, I create a few products, a few software titles, modifying what I've already created to help me solve my problems of being so busy and trying to do so many things. So again, I'm solving a problem, and I'm sure other people have the same issues that I do. And so I'm able to create things that are great for me, and I'm happy just with that. At least it makes me able to do what I do to make money even easier. But I also, fantastically on the side, can make new products from those solutions that I have found myself. Again, solve a problem, and that problem being solved by your creation is a sure ticket to having a successful product for business or even a service. Okay. Um, and so here, the second thing is to research the market. A little bit of what this guy did on YouTube was also he started trying different materials to create his spirals, right? And so he started selling these things and see how well they did. Also, he monitored the customers' feedback to see how they felt about the different ideas that he was putting out there. And so he did have, and then he also measured how many sales he had of this type as opposed to that type, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, the bamboo style really hit it big, and that's the one he finally settled on doing. And production wise, he was able to have it mass produced and saved all that time and consumption of resources doing it himself in his garage on his 3D printer. Again, testing, marketing it, seeing who buys it, how much they buy it, and what the pricing they'll buy it for, etc. He did do the testing higher pricing, lower mid pricing, lower pricing, which one would sell more and still give him the profit. So all of those things he had a chance to test it and before settling on a set of parameters. And also, when you're doing this, you're also able to create copy. What is copy? Copy are the things that you would write in an advertisement, a press release, a blog article talking about your products. You have this time to improve and to add in certain points that other customers may have made. Oh, this helped me to do this better. It was nice. It slid on easily, and also you pick up what other people's perspective are concerning your product, and you can incorporate those things into your advertising and marketing copies. Very good. Your descriptions, because what other people get the benefit of from your product, you can have other people see that these are the benefits that the users of your product are experiencing. So there's a lot of good that comes out from all of that. Even the creation of content as you go along, you can then later on cut and slice and put together and make a feature and benefit rich type of videos. And sometimes the video is it becomes a little difficult to do that. But if you think it's before you start doing your videos, so that you can have an end product that can be cut and sliced and put together and reorganized in different ways and still serve your product or service, that's another thing to do. You got to think of all of these different ways of handling it. There are marketing tools that you can create along the way again, different types of programs, videos or audio programming content, really, different types of it where they can be opportunities for channels, for example, things that people will subscribe to, latch on to, and these are market streams, which I call market streams. These are groups of people that have latched on to a certain channel. And by channel, I don't just mean YouTube channels. I'm talking about channels of communication, of education, of information. And they've latched on to that. And these are channels through which you can reach more and create more sales through information according to the channel that you created. Different things, not your mainstay of the business, but different ways where maybe some of your products, some of your services are featured in one way or another and can then garner some more interest in what your business is later on down the road. So there's many things to consider here in terms of the benefits of researching your market directly related to your product and its improvement, and then also in terms of marketing your product later on. Define your target audience. Again, using the example, wonderful example on YouTube with the spiral curtain holder was that he tried different things, and during those different things that he tried, he was able to garner audiences. And he was able to identify the type of audience which was looking to buy these things. So he had more of a better understanding of who his customer was after the first few trials and trial and errors and improvements and whatnot. To build a solid foundation for your business, you need to understand who your target audience is. And this goes for all of types of business marketing, including internet marketing. You have to know who is the buyer of your product. Even affiliate marketers who sell other people's products, they need to understand who is the target audience, who is the actual buyer of this product. Very important because not everyone is going to buy the product. Not everyone is a buyer. So you have to think and be able to identify who is the buyer. And sometimes the people we think would be the buyer of a certain product are not exactly right. Our opinion or our view may not be 100% correct, and we may be surprised when we actually do the test to see who is buying, what demographic is buying. We may be surprised. Oh, I didn't know that there was a market space within those demographics. So it's very important for you to test. And you can't try to sell your product service to everyone under the sun. Different groups of people have different challenges and pain points. You want to identify an audience that is a sweet spot for your product, and because those are the ones where most of your sales will come from. You don't want to just juice out a small segment and ignore a larger segment because you're ignoring one or two features or benefits that you were not aware of. And this is why I said earlier to test your product, let other people try it, from the beginning to the end. Let them buy it, let them take it home, let them try it there, and get the feedback. The feedback is so important. It's very profitable for you to get all the feedback. When defining your ideal customer, consider things like demographics and psychographics, right? Why the reason, what's their mentality. This approach allows you to focus your marketing spend on a specific market that is more likely to buy from you than others. And once you know who you're marketing to, then it's much easier to determine which channels, here marketing channels, you should use to reach them and what marketing messages will resonate with them. There's differences like young people where there's not a lot of money to have with young folks. But just as a point of discussion, young people usually use different types of social media than the older folks, the ones who have disposable income. So there's differences. So depending on what your product and service is and where it's more addressed to, not the ones you want to get, but the one that actually your product will attract and garner the most sales from, that's what you need to pay attention to, and you need to be sensitive to that. And the critical thing, as is said here, to keep in mind is that everybody is not a demographic. So whenever you hear someone say everybody would want this, then you know that you have a fool. He's someone who really doesn't understand what marketing is all about. So you can start broad but become increasingly granular as you go along. Then you need to validate your idea, which in the case of the spiral guy, again, he tested, he put it on the market uh, as early as him making it on his 3D printer, and he was starting to sell stuff he made on his 3D printer. So he got started, which goes to the second part, the last part, which is taking action. But before we leave here, one of the things that she talks about is an excellent way to introduce a prototype to your target audience is by conducting focus groups. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching my videos that I've been doing for weeks and weeks on end, but in many of the business videos, I talk about, especially the businesses that I'm selling, that I'm offering for you and to join our network with. Most of them involve a thing called forming groups, right? If anyone can remember that. I use groups a lot in the formation of our businesses. And here you see one of the reasons why. And I'm happy that this author has included it. This is really big. And for certain types of businesses, it's like essential. But most business people starting up would never think about it. That's the thing. They would never think about doing this. But this is actually a wonderful idea, one that our networks are already implementing. I did this from day one, so I take the credit with that. But it's an excellent way to introduce a prototype. Focus groups. Focus groups allow you to validate your idea and receive input before going full steam. So we use ourselves groups to a great degree in the development of our business packages. So just for you to know that, the suggestions that I make and the things that we're doing are right on par with the latest advice for business success. I just want to point that out because I've been talking about groups for a long time. And now, the final thing is to take action. While many people have great business ideas, a small percentage of those actually follow through. And don't let perfectionism or fear get in the way. I think most people are just scared, and you'd be surprised what they could be scared of. And I think that most of them are scared of success. They're scared of success. It's not like you were raised to be successful by your parents. It's not like you have a track record, a history like other like firefighter families and police force families. And you have lawyer families. You have miners. It's always been in the family. You have farmers, family farms. You have like this rich tradition handed down from generation to generation. Success, it's one of those evasive things. It's not really something that is transferred from one generation to another into another, right? um, but what is transferable, as I suggested in my earlier videos today, is the a demonstration of taking action. Your parents may have not taken action or taken the right action. Some parents leave, and that's not a great example. But you taking action and doing something is the best example that you can give your children, the next generation, and is the closest that you're going to be able to give them a priceless commodity that is learning an aspect of what it takes to be successful. It takes taking action, at times taking a risk in the good things, in taking action in positive direction, not taking risks foolishly and stupidly, and even in illegalities. You don't want that. You want to show positive action for good results. And that's what you want to concentrate on. And that is one of the most neglected things that people are paying attention to. You really need to take action. You have an idea. I have an idea. I'm not going to say anything more about it, but I'm actually sitting on an idea that I know that a lot of people need. I know that for a fact. Specific groups, especially, would need this, and I have it. It's mine. No one can guess what. It's funny, but I have something always there in reserve, carry it with me all the time, and it's a great business idea. See, a lot of us have these. Now, will I bring it out? Yes, I bring it out, but I'm holding it for when my other things that we're working on are have a full head of steam on them. Then I'll go into that. But that's coming. So I know when to implement that, what to do. But the thing is that I have it. I have this idea, and many of you have something that you have done to solve a problem of your own. And the thing you need to realize is that you're not the only one with that problem. There are a lot of other people with the same problem. And it doesn't matter if there's only like 10 people that have your problem. If your solution can really help those people that they really can't live any further without having that solution, it really is bothering them to no end, then you have a product for 10 people. And the 10 people, if they're really at that point, how much would they spend is the other question. Can we make this a sustainable product? I'm thinking maybe subscription, right? You will want to have a repeating income month to month to month, year to year, of being able to provide this service or this product to people who are suffering from XYZ problem that they really want to get resolved. And since you came with this idea and the solution, they're happy to pay X amount of dollars to live without that problem. So if you have something like that, then you can do that. It's just like the jet plane thing. Jet planes go for millions of dollars. You only need to sell one or two a year and be good. As a salesman, it's on the commission. You don't really need to sell too many of those big things, big ticket items, to live well, to be successful. So everything has its, sell a lot at a low price, or you sell because your market is smaller, fewer at a greater price because it does solve a great need and they're willing to put money behind that. So it really doesn't matter. What matters is that you have an idea that can solve people's problems. It'll be good if you have a good market and you have a great price. That's what you're really looking to have. But even if you don't have all of those things, you can simply visit our brokering business opportunity at this URL, and you have the best of both worlds. You can have a business that's successful. It has to be successful because of all the information you're going to see in the video at this URL. It has to be successful. There's no way for it can't be successful. Plus the fact of the power of all the good advice, just like you saw here, it's all in here, folks. It's all in there. So if you don't have a product in your mind, you don't have a solution in your mind, you still want to do a business and have a business that's successful, this is your best bet right here. And even if you're doing a business now, you can be selling soap, doing any type of network marketing business, tea, breads, soaps, perfumes, makeup, whatever have you, aluminum siding, whatever the product. This would make a wonderful supportive business that will help your business. When you see what we're doing with this brokering business here, you will realize that this is what you need to be doing in addition to what you're doing now. This is your answer. A lot of you may be struggling. A lot of you may be ho hum, okay, doing well, but how long am I going to keep doing this? I really need something to break this shell open for some more growth. You're waiting for this because this is going to give you all that you need. So take a look at it right now because I'm finished. Take care and success to all of you. Take action is what you need to do now. Goodbye.